Okay, so I'm just going to prepare the Engel to do two things at once today. The first thing is I'm going to hot smoke some chicken up the top, and then I'm also in the front, I'm going to put some rotisserie pork on. So things to bear in mind. So first up is building up a decent fire base. So I lit this probably 35-40 minutes ago, not a huge amount of time, but it's enough time for that fire to just break down a little bit and turn the wood into large embers. It's still got a lot of open flame, so I'm not going to lower the grill and cook directly onto that yet, because what's going to happen is I'm going to put my chicken onto there and it's just going to flare up and it's going to catch on fire. So if you're cooking directly onto that bottom grill, the Argentinian grill, just wait a little bit longer, like another 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and just wait for all those flames to basically go out and just cook on the embers themselves. But for us today, because I'm cooking this up in that top area, it doesn't matter, I'm not cooking directly on the flame. So I'm going to heat up that rack, get it nice and hot, use the divots that are in your little wand there, and just scrape it off. That's nice and hot, ready to fire the chicken. So here I've got my spatchcocked chicken. I put a little bit of oil over the top, and the oil is really just to get it going, just to get it colouring. And then, look at that, doesn't that look delicious? Yup. I'm going to put that straight onto the fire. It's going to flare up. That's fine, because we're going to lift the grate up straight away. That goes on. Look at that. Woo-hoo! Cooking with fire. And then what you want to do then is you slowly bring your grate up. You know, say if you wanted to cook this in its entirety, all you need to do is probably do that. You know, the flames are just licking away at that chicken. And what you could do there is you could shut your fire down, close that guy down, and what I'll do is I'll just close the flue down ever so slightly, or I close it right down and open it ever so slightly. What that does is it just gives you a little bit of movement within the fire. The fire can still draw air through these gaps, and you're still allowing the smoke to pass over that chicken as it's going out of that flue. If I open that right up, the fire's probably going to flare up, it's going to get lots of air coming in, there's going to be a lot of heat, but also too much flame. So what I do is I just shut it right down, so that's closed completely, and just open it up like that. And that will stay good for 20, 30, 40 minutes, and certainly long enough for that chicken to cook. So if you have a look inside there, you've got a decent amount of smoke, and the chicken is cooking absolutely perfectly. Hey, if that flame is still flaring up too much, take it right up to its higher setting, and you can push the fire back, and that will work just fine. If it's still flaring up, or if you want to cook it at a lower rate, so it's more smoky rather than charry, bring the fire forward. So now the chicken is directly, or the fire is cooking what we call indirectly. So the fire is in the front, the chicken's at the back. You imagine you shut that down, keep the flue just open a smidgen, that chicken will cook over a longer period of time, a slower, longer, far more smokier period of time. So that's in essence, you're hot smoking that chicken. So we just leave that like that, delicious. Or you push it back, and that will just speed that process up. Shut it down, open up, walk away, and that chicken will be done in about 30, maybe 25 minutes. Okay, so chooks have been on probably 30 minutes, and they're ready to come off because I've just probed one, and it's sitting on 75 degrees. So I'll pull them off, and then I'll show you what I mean about probing. So let's get these guys off. And just put up there. Pull that down, look at that. Beautiful smoke haze over the top of it. So let me probe this. So when we're probing into the thickest part of that chicken. If the thickest part reaches 75, then the whole lot is all good to go. So 75 is a perfect temperature for chicken. Anything below, you kind of start to get a little bit risky in regards to possible salmonella within the chicken, but 75 is a perfect temperature for ensuring that it's safe to eat, but also not overcooking it. What you don't want to do is you don't want to take it to 80, 85, 90, because the chicken starts to dry out at that point. So 75 is great. So we pull all the chickens off. They can all come off. Oh yeah, delish. And also when you're resting it, because all meat needs to rest. This one's going to be, oh yeah, that's 78 bang on. You wouldn't want to go any further. So when you're resting this, I'm resting it so that the skin is on the bottom. So as it rests, the meat structure just relaxes. The protein cells take the liquid back in. And what you want to do is rest it on the skin so that as the juice comes out of that chicken, or if any juice does come out of it, it's captured in the skin at the bottom and it doesn't go all over your plate. Capturing it in the skin keeps it within the chicken, keeping that juice and that moistness within the chicken, keeping the flavour and the juiciness. So that's our chicken. That's the third one there to come off. You can come off and sit there nicely. And we'll rest that. We'll just loosely cover it with some tin foil. And those chickens can sit there until we are ready to eat.